Christian discipleship has been hard to do nowadays during this pandemic, given that we have limited to do during this time. Also, given that the pandemic has given us a lot of problems to deal with, like the country suffering economically, Filipinos around the country, and even OFWs losing their jobs, families not being able to gather enough supplies for the pandemic. But as disciples of God, it is our duty to continue to follow Him until the end. First of all, what is the meaning of true discipleship nowadays, especially during this pandemic? Well, for me, true discipleship nowadays is to carry your own cross and follow God until the end. To seek out for His wisdom so that you can know more about Him, you know more about His ways, and join His mission. And personally, there's going to be some hindrances. And lastly, always think not to be scared, and that God is always here to protect us and to strengthen us and to guide us and to keep us strong, and that we must keep our faith in order to last through this pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a problem all throughout the globe, and at the same time, each country has been having its own social issues. Social issues are problems that influence citizens all throughout the country, and is a problem for all countries. Because of the pandemic, social issues, which I will point out now, have been more affected because of the pandemic. First of all, the malnutrition of families, especially those in poverty. Because of this pandemic, malnutrition has been an even more serious topic. Families not being able to get their daily supply of nutrients. Each day, 95 children in our country die from malnutrition. Sources also say that 7% of children are too thin for their height and age. Other problems including the Philippines urging the SRA to scrap sugar export so that the country has enough sugar to last the pandemic. With the Philippines having a low yield of sugar at 5.1 tons of sugar per hectare, added with the low income from the sugar they export or make, and the high cost of production makes it really hard for the planters to gain some money, especially when they debated to stop. And the last problem being that the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted just about every aspect of our daily schedules, especially exercise routines, where we aim to stay and live a healthy life. The pandemic has affected our physical activities and therefore ruining our chances to stay fit, because if we stay at home, we are promoting weight gain, and it also makes us eat more calories. But of course, I'm going to give my own personal solutions to at least minimize each problem. So my solution to the malnutrition problem is that they should continue doing health and nutrition services, because if they continue the services, families are supplied with a more complete meal. It's also so that each and every family can stay healthy and nourished during the pandemic. This will also be happening while they are practicing safety rules because of this pandemic. So, my personal solution to the scrapping of sugar exportation is that they should continue to export sugar, because if they continue to export sugar, the production of sugar as well as the income of the workers will be sustained. And finally, my solution to the pandemic disrupting our schedules. First of all, I have been able to adjust to the pandemic and have been working out inside the house to keep my body fit. And I encourage the other people out there to do the same, because if you had adjusted to the new normal and have been exercising at home, you would have been a lot healthier and fitter by now. Aside from exercising at home, whether it be with weights or simple dance sessions or even Zumba, it's also important to eat healthy and know if what you're eating is healthy or not. So now, speaking of staying fit and keeping healthy, I'm going to share with you my one-day meal plan so that I can maybe encourage you to continue to stay fit and healthy. So, breakfast, I have fried rice, 2 eggs, and a glass of chocolate milk or even any other milk. I have this breakfast because eggs are rich in calcium and protein, so that it can help me kickstart my day and give me the energy I need to take on the day. Eggs also and milk have phosphorus, which helps with your energy so that it can help you also to take on the day. And lastly, you can't leave out the rice in an everyday meal because it gives you so much calcium, and it also recovers a lot of energy that you have lost. So for my lunch, I have lechon paksiw and rice. I have this lunch because the pork has a lot of potassium and phosphorus, which helps me bring back my energy I lost from the morning and also gives me enough energy to proceed to my next activities of the afternoon, and one of them is working out to stay fit. And lastly, for dinner, I'm going to be having ginisang upo or bottle gourd. So I'm gonna have this dinner because the bottle gourd has a lot of calcium, so that I can recover my muscles after the workout that I had. It has a lot of phosphorus to bring back the energy lost during the workout, and it has also potassium to transmit electrolytes and for me to have a better heartbeat. Basically, just to take care of my body. So, yeah. Another part of keeping fit is to always exercise, and now I'm going to show you my exercise routine that promotes balance, speed, power, and reaction time. So in these two articles of shortages and surplus that I'm going to be going through, we will find what the situation is, its cause, effect, and the solution. So let's go. So the first problem is a shortage in supply of laptops because there are many demands for laptops. So the cause of this shortage is because of the population, which is a factor of demand. Since the country has been on lockdown, things like going to school and going out for work has been restricted, therefore increasing demands for laptop so that the children can have online learning, and also the fact that most people who have jobs have now switched to work from home. And the effect this has on the company's end is that their supply decreases while the demands increase, all because of these demand surges. But a solution is that they can increase the price to try to balance out the limited stocks that they have with the demands from the people. So yeah. And finally, the situation of this second article is that the Sugar Regulatory Administration, or SRA, is deciding whether to export sugar due to the surplus of sugar or to scrap the exportation so that the country can have enough sugar to last the pandemic. So clearly, this issue is there is a clear surplus in sugar, and the cause of this is due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which is under the panahon or klima, which is under the factor of supply. And since the pandemic is going on, sugar consumptions have slowed down, therefore decreasing demands of sugar because the companies of sugar containing products like beverage companies or restaurants are not operational, therefore also leading to the increase or the surplus of sugar. This also affects the SRA because if they fail to export the sugar and maintain the surplus of sugar, it will result in depressed prices. So the solution to this is that if they continue the plan to export the surplus of sugar, they must lower down the prices so that the sugar can be sold, and therefore lowering the amount of supply that they have. And I must say that business is very hard. That's why there is journalizing so that all the investments, payments, debts paid are all recorded because these types of stuff are crucial when it comes to building your business. So, yeah. Dahil sa gulo ng pandemya na ito, daming buwan na nakulong tayo dito. Ngunit manatiling umaasa tayo. May pag-asa para sa akin at sa inyo. Dapat laging maghugas ka ng kamay mo. Manatili ka sa loob ng bahay niyo. Magdistansya ka dapat sa mga tao. Mag-face mask para ang sakit ay lumayo. O mag-alala, matapos lang din ito. Pag mayroon ang Panginoon, ligtas tayo. Umpisang umasa at magdasal na kayo. Kumalma lang din naman lahat ng bagyo.